we are here, the 2008 Arnold Classic at the bodybuilding.com booth, and I'm here with Valerie Waugaman. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy, hectic signing schedule to talk with me.
No problem. It's like I get a little bit of break, but I pretty much talk all day long, so it's what I do.
You've had a very exciting career, and a lot of good things happened this year. Can you tell me about what you're doing with the Gladiators?
Basically, the IFBB Pro Figure stage has brought me to a new level of competition in the Gladiators. Basically, I was on the cover of a couple magazines, and Flex magazine said to the Gladiator people, "You've got to call this girl. She's totally a Gladiator." And I was really surprised when they called me, but I was really excited because I was looking for somewhere to take my career to the next level, and I love competing in figure. And I just announced my retirement. It's just there's a point in time where, you know, if it takes you to a new direction and that direction fits with your purpose in life, which for me, I want to have an impact worldwide with children. I want to be a children's role model as well as an adult role model, but the entertainment business can take me a little further, and so I'm still going to be very much involved. I love competing. I love the sport, but I'm just going to be involved in a little bit different way.
Awesome. So was film and working in TV and film something that you had wanted to pursue before?
I never really said I want to be on TV or do a movie. I just said I want to have world influence. So whatever avenues that will take me to have that kind of influence with people, then I'm open to it. So when Gladiators came, it was just a natural path for me, and it felt like I had some experience from the camera because I have my own video show on bodybuilding.com, and so I had practice in front of it because it's very hard to be in front of a camera and be yourself when you haven't practiced. And I like to speak, do motivational speaking in front of large groups. I do fitness camps, I do corporate seminars, and so I've built my confidence to the point where I can be on TV, and I'm open to doing movies. I think it would be a fun experience. It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. Try to be on national television and be yourself, and know that there's millions of people that are going to see what you're doing and evaluate you and judge you, and then that's mentally some of the most challenging things you can go through, but it's also, you can grow a lot from the experience. So,
you know, that's really interesting because you're saying that it's challenging having people judge you and watching you, yet for years as an athlete you're on stage doing exactly that. So how is doing the Gladiators being judged different from, I mean, this is a huge expo, the Arnold Classic, so when you're competing in an event like this, you have thousands of people watching you. What's the difference there?
Well, I would say that there's thousands, but there's a lot of people that kind of are in and out, and they can't really all see it. You know what I mean? It's a smaller group compared to national television where there's millions of viewers, and you're also doing a whole lot more than just walking out on stage, and there's 12 or 15 other competitors doing the exact same thing. You have a really short time, and you're not speaking, you're not really doing anything active, you're kind of displaying yourself in a short period of time, like 15 seconds, and you're pretty much done. For me, that was hard enough to get to that point. I mean, I was very nervous when I first started competing, very shy, but I was able to overcome that, and then to take it to the next level in front of a TV camera. You're talking now. Every move is being watched. You have a live audience, and you have cameras on you, and it is, I think, a bigger deal what you do and what you say. You know, you can be a lot more embarrassed on national television than this industry right here, because tomorrow people forget about you. If you screw up, it's like they say something about you, and the next day you're like, what old news?
Yeah. Hey, so that's interesting though, because on the show you're a character, right? So you're talking about you have to be yourself, yet you also have to be a character. So how much, one, I want you to tell me about your character as a gladiator, and how much of that they want you to play up, and, you know, aside from just being yourself, they want you to play a role. So what is your role on the show?
Well, that was a very interesting process, because when we were first working on it, we thought we had to like really create this unnatural character and kind of become this,
like a comic book or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we thought. And they said, listen, we hired you all for a reason. We like what you have in your own personality. We just want you to amplify it for TV. So when I got that concept, it made a lot more sense. And I like to be sexy but classy, and I'm very bold and outgoing, and I'm very strong and powerful. I like to grunt. I'm really loud. So I kind of took all of those things and made Siren.
So you got to come up with a name yourself?
No, they actually came up with the name,
okay.
But I thought it totally fit me. I've always done my hair red.
Let's show that.
This is Siren. And see how she's kind of got that look that's like, you don't want to mess with me, but but I'm good to look at. But don't come too close. You know what I mean? And it was fun because think about a fun part of your personality, and then amplify that, and you get to be that for a certain period of time on camera, and it's something that you don't do normally in life. And it is kind of acting, but it's acting yourself.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to describe, and the energy that you have to create with the live audience and for the camera. You think you might come across fun and exciting and interesting, and if you don't amplify it, you're really on camera. It doesn't look anything like that. In person is a lot easier to come across in a higher, in sort of like
you gotta sell it when you're on TV.
You gotta really sell it. So I had to practice. I would have to practice in front of the mirror. I'm sure lots of actors and actresses do. I would practice with different moves and what are my phrases going to be, and I would come up with power words and what are my looks going to be when I look at the competitors.
Can you do that? I want her to give us some looks.
Yeah,
give us some of your Gladiator looks.
And then I would be like, when I would get ready for the rings, I was able to block everything out around me, and that's hard to do when all those people around and you try to focus on your event. So I would sort of get myself into a meditative state, and I would focus solely on the competitor and on the rings, and I wouldn't think about anything else going on except for that moment. So I would just get into the zone, and then I would start my attack, and you could see it. I mean, the pursuit in my eyes was ready. It was very intense.
And we didn't even touch on that. We talked about the whole mental state, but what about the physical? Like
physically,
I mean, those
very challenging.
You're out there working it. You're not just standing on stage.
Right.
Like you have to be athletically conditioned.
Absolutely.
How was that whole process?
I was looking for an outlet to compete in a physical way besides walking around in heels. I mean,
You're an athlete.
Yeah, I'm an athlete, and I train like an athlete. So when you compete in figure, there's a little bit of a
limitation.
Yeah, it's limited. You don't get to express your athletic ability. So it was a bit frustrating after a show. I just felt like I didn't really get everything out, that I wanted to show people. And with Gladiators, it's the different story. But the events, they're not very long, 30 to 60 seconds long, but they require an extreme amount of adrenaline and energy. And you might have to do 5 events in a row. You might have to wait 5 hours and then do another event. So there's a level of professionalism you have to have as an athlete to be able to turn it on like that. Yeah. They might say, we need you in 2 minutes. You got to be ready. And you're like, wow, okay, so I got to get into that mental state that an athlete gets into in 2 minutes and be ready for TV and sell it, So that was really hard, all of us, but a good growth experience.
So you guys have finished season 1, is that correct? Is it now moving into season 2?
It was done filming in December. We aired, and the finale was like 2 weeks ago, and we start filming season 2 in about a month. And then it will air in the summer. And
so how long does it take to do a full season? Do you do it all at one time, day after day, or how does that work?
It's consecutive, it's grueling, wow. It's very hard. It's like a football season. You just knock it out, and then you're beat up at the end, and you rest, and you come back. But the first one, I think we did it in about 3 weeks, and this one is probably 5 weeks because we're going to do an additional 4 or 5 episodes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate talking with me. Get a better idea and feel for who you are and your character, and hope to see a beautiful feature of you in our calendar and in Status Magazine, because that's what we're all about, is showing that passion and drive and beautifully athletic body. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the calendar.